Yes, people, welcome back to another video. And tonight, I've got a young lass who supports Man U, and her name's Macy from Devils United. And Macy, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? And thank you for having me on.
No problems at all. You're welcome anytime. And it's just a pleasure and honor to get you on my channel, something for opposition perspective. So if you do like the video, guys, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and also do follow Maisie, which is _MAIS, and that'll come up. And also do go to a YouTube channel for any United fans on there who's watching this, Devils United. So Macy, just want to find everything about you, right? Why you support Man U, and what made you support Man United?
My family have always been Man United fans. My granddad was a Man United fan. My dad was a Man United fan. So the whole family in itself were Man United fans. But none of the females who was in my family actually supported football. So I was literally the only female who actually liked football. And I think it was about back in 2005, 2006 season. I did find it so amusing, so amazing to watch. And the player what really stood out for me was Ruud van Nistelrooy. He was the player for me who stood out so much. How he was great in his finishing, his touching, his goals. If you look at them goals, roughly around 60% of his games, over 60%, he is scoring a goal. It's absolutely incredible. And he was the person what made me grow to love the game, because when I was watching him, I was thinking, wow, this is so good. And I just wanted to watch more and more. And I was just loving every single moment. The part what I loved as well back in 2008, the Champions League final, because I was born the year before the treble. So I never got to experience what it was like to win the treble. You can only see the videos on MUTV, or you see the YouTube clips like, oh, this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's last minute goal, and this is when Terry Sheringham scored, and you see Ryan Giggs' FA Cup semi-final goal as well, and you think this is the kind of things what you are missing out on. But there were still such amazing memories when I was born, seeing Ruud for one. I feel like it's just a bit of a shame in the kind of, because the player he is, and he didn't get to win the many trophies as he deserves, like as many Premier Leagues, because that was when Arsenal was at the best back in them days too, and Chelsea was at such a good era there as well. So it was such a difficult time for Ruud, and I think he definitely deserved to win a lot more. And you got to see Cristiano Ronaldo as an 18-year-old coming to Manchester United. And the thing what I loved about Manchester United, the thing what was my favourite memory, it has to be that 2008 Champions League final, which I did touch on that little bit. Yeah. I remember I was feeling that little bit of suspense, thinking, oh, you bit like you got the butterflies in your stomach. Yeah. Because it's like that every single time for a penalty shootout. And we all knew the kind of team that Chelsea had. They had Drogba there, they had John Terry there. And you think, this is such a good Chelsea side, but this is such a brilliant Manchester United side. If you was going to, that was obviously on par with the 1999 treble side, I would personally say, with this squad, the talent, everything about that team, I could not fault. That's how amazing I felt like that team was. And knowing that it was John Terry's slip what done it, it just makes me so happy. Man. You can't ever disrespect John Terry for the amazing centre-back he was, but you've got to give it to him. Thank you for giving us that Champions League trophy. He was giving it back to his boyhood club, because we all knew he supported Manchester United as a boy as well.
Wow. Flipping hell, 5 minutes and I didn't even get a word in. Wow. Oh, that's you're sure at the end of the day, you want to tell us a story? You can tell us a story. I've got no problems at all whatsoever. But listen, they have given us some good moments there. 1999, you won the treble, 2008 Champions League. Had a couple more finals just to succeed. So got beat up Barca, and Barca, twice really. So not good. I can find his comments, by the way. And big up to you, Keith. Happy Christmas Eve and New Year's one, my guy, John Tree. and easy members. Well, membership will open by the way to be a member. It costs us $2.99. What we're going to try and do, and probably soon, try and get as low as 99p. So if you want to be a member, it's open. You want to donate, it's open as well. So whatever you want to do, you go for it. So big up to John Mearsley. That's from now. Kian now is normally on Rich Sports, by the way. Great guy. And hello, if you're well, that's from John King. I got amazing. Any questions you've got to ask for John Macy, just fire them away, and then hopefully she'll be quite happy to answer. But my God, what an introduction I've got. Wow. Even you two, Gaines and Matthew. Hope you're having a great Christmas. John, just sub to you, buddy. Now, thank you so much, my God. Appreciate that. And got Matthew Gaines. And man, you turn up, we stand no chance. Let's face it. Yeah, I'm going to comment on it later on. I'm going to fly through this. So I've got Tantanji as well. Imagine how Anne Shearer must have thought to play through Alex Ferguson and Alex Wenger generation, not win out. What do you think of that one?
I actually agree with that, because you do look at the talent of Alan Shearer, the amount of goals he scored, and I believe he had 5 hat-tricks in one season, and you can't knock the kind of player he is, how well he was on the ball. He could sniff a ball out and he could get that ball in the back of the net, but he was actually linked to Manchester United, Alan Shearer, before he actually came to Newcastle, and Sir Alex Ferguson was really keen on having him, but he did go to Newcastle. I think he did mention it was based on history, if I was correct. But I think if, for example, though, he didn't win that Premier League at Blackburn Rovers, I actually think it could have been a little bit different for him, and I think he might have edged towards going to Manchester United, but I think he probably thought, I've got this Premier League, it's a part of me now, I've won this, and I'm happy to go. I think he was like, I'm happy to go to Newcastle. They're a big club, just like Manchester United is, and they've got such great history too, so I think that was probably why he was edging towards Newcastle, in my personal opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I feel you hit the nail on the head there, sort of thing. He's always got a local lad. He also got to come to Newcastle United. And also, he would love to play for Fuji, I know that's a fact. But when your hometown club comes for you, when you got Kevin Keegan playing for you, sort of thing, then that's perfect. But if it's in 2021 and Ferguson's there now and Eddie Howe's managing Newcastle, I can guarantee you one thing now, he'll come to Man U 200%. It's a huge, huge club. And yeah, it is what it is. We had him for 10 seasons. And he said, no way, John. Did you just say you've seen him on Rich Sports? No way, man. I was on his podcast twice. Rich is amazing. Sorry about that, man. Sorry if I upset you now.
No, I think he's happy about it.
Yeah, he's a great lad anyway. I mean, he's come on my channel before. And Tuesday, oh, John, the Dong, and a little Miss Mearsey. And that's when Tuesday is a big two fan. Got 20 people watching at the minute. Do hit the like button, do subscribe. And you know, 30 yet to make 1,500 people. And I was going to say as well that since Fergie left the club and since 2013, you had managers like David Moyes, LVG, Jose Mourinho, Ole, and now you're on the 5th one, Ralph Nick, and that's 5 managers in 8 seasons. That football club should not have 5 managers in 8 seasons. For a big club in Man United, right? That is awful, man.
I agree. It is awful. And yeah, we're never going to get a Sir Alex Ferguson again. And I think at the time as well, when David Moyes came in, I think a lot of people probably would disagree with me, but I do feel like the club wasn't at the right thing for David Moyes at that point, because he was still only a very new manager, and coming into a Man United squad with the talent he did have, because he still had Vidic there at the time. He still has such a good squad when you look at, he had Patrice Evra there as well. So he had David De Gea too. You look at that squad and you think, this is still a squad where you can still win the Premier League, or you can win at least a cup.
Yeah.
But I think because he was so new, and I think he just didn't have that enough experience. And a lot of people would say that Alex Ferguson could have gave him a little bit of training beforehand, before coming into a Manchester United club. Because you look at Everton, yes, they're a good club, but Everton's not on the same level as Manchester United's first team, and you do need to have that little bit of experience. If the likes of Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho could not hack the club, how could David Moyes, who didn't have any experience hardly, come and do well at the club? This is what my only concern was. But I think if David Moyes did do well at West Ham, for instance. He went straight to West Ham. He done good like he is now. And then he went to Manchester United. I think he probably would have had no problems. I think he would have actually done a much better job. I just think it was down to experience, in my opinion. And I feel you do feel sorry for him, because I know he did. A lot of people say he won the Community Shield, which is nothing. But for a manager with no experience, that is still good for him. He's still in his trophy cabinet. Say, I've won the Community Shield at Manchester United. Then we got Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal, he's a brilliant manager, top manager.
Yeah.
The thing with Louis van Gaal for me, it was the fact that he was seen at Manchester United more of a laughingstock than he was as a manager, because of the comments he made in his interviews. No one took him as a serious kind of manager. You do look at Louis van Gaal's record in the past, and he's brilliant. But I think, for one, we took him way past prime. And he had to rebuild that team after David Moyes left, because we had so many people who left the club. So he had to build the team up. And the way Louis van Gaal played and the way how Sir Alex Ferguson played is completely different, because he's more of a defensive kind of manager. And it wasn't the football that you do like to see at Manchester United. So he brought in the likes of Memphis Depay. He brought in as well, if he might have brought in Herrera, I think, as well. He brought in quite a few players. So some of them didn't work. He got rid of Robin van Persie, didn't work for him, which was a bit of a shame, because Van Persie was one of the players I really loved at Manchester United. He was actually on one of my first Manchester United shirts, believe it or not. So I think, and he won the FA Cup. He got sacked after a couple of days after winning the FA Cup. Bit tight, my eyes. He had half a built team, and you think, he needed that tiny bit more backing by the squad, by the board, for him to do well. Because if he's still winning that FA Cup, why not take him on another step further? I know we finished 6th, but we still had that Europa League. So we could have tried to aim for winning the Europa League title, which we did do under Jose Mourinho, plus the Carabao Cup. But the thing with Jose Mourinho, his ego. It's always his ego what gets him. Every single time, he puts his ego before everything else. And I know people will disagree with me on this, but I think the downfall of Jose Mourinho was probably the fact that he did sign Paul Pogba, because I actually think the squad was doing so well, but then once Paul Pogba came, and knowing how big that he is as a signing, the amount he cost, I think he was like, you've got to put Paul Pogba anywhere to try and make this team work. We've got to play Paul Pogba because of his price tag. And a lot of the time, that doesn't work, because you've got, especially with his agent saying things, and it turned into a frosty relationship with Jose Mourinho and Paul Pogba. It affected the pitch, and then Jose Mourinho's like, right, drop in you, and I will play everyone else who doesn't play any game time, but never mind, let's just do that. And then we played absolutely awful. But that Europa League final, what Jose Mourinho done, it was a very good final, and he brought... the sign I loved in particular, what Jose brought in, though, it was Zlatan Ibrahimovic. It was Zlatan. If it wasn't, I think it was Zlatan what helped us in the Premier League and the Carabao Cup. Mkhitaryan helped us with the Europa League. But yeah, I absolutely love Zlatan. It was just a shame of how he left. But yeah, Jose's egos and all that. He had the backing. But I think a lot of people just discredit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer too much, because if you look at how the team was once Jose Mourinho left, the dressing room was split. You had the likes of Pogba, Shaw, who were like lost the confidence because of how Jose Mourinho was with them certain players. But then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as well as building a team, he had to build the trust back up with these players, and it would have been very, very difficult. I think he was trying to bring a bit more attacking kind of play, even though a lot of people would say, what is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics? I think you can see he always chose attacking football over defensive football, unlike Mourinho and unlike Louis van Gaal. And at times it does work, at times it didn't. He did get more backing off the board compared to the other two managers, which I do think was great. He built up a brilliant team, but unfortunately for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he just wasn't able to take this team to the next step forward. And I think that was the only problem. You've got them managers, though, who can build a team up and they can be... and can't get any further, but you've got the likes of, for instance, Pep Guardiola will put in, for instance. He is better at coming into a built-up team and then making them into monsters. And I think that was the difference between Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He could build a team, but he just couldn't take it any further. But we've got enough signings now under Ralph who can actually take it now to the next step forward.
Yeah, I was going to say, when Ole got sacked, I mean, you could have took Steve Bruce. Would you have took Steve Bruce?
No. No.
He was available at the time. All the team, talkSPORT pundits that come out and say he's done a wonderful job at Newcastle United.
I will buy him a cocktail if he stays in retirement.
So no chance of Steve Bruce, eh? Not in the summer. You're not gonna have Steve Bruce in the summer.
No.
Man, you legend is a United legend, man. Nah, I've tried. Just like that, he's available, right? I've got more comments fan through quickly, going to all in a bit. Clark should be left back. That's Kieran Clark. Left back at home, far away from the squad. Yeah, I totally agree. He was awful, wasn't he? As long as Jonathan isn't in the comments and Brendan, then you should be fine with it. I love your sense of humour, bro. Thank you very much. And Robert said hello, Moisey, Jonathan, Robert. And they were all by the time Moisey came. That's Eric.
That's another point.
And this is the one we've got to be a little tad harsh, a little tad. That I said in the past, this Man U team's the worst. I wouldn't say ever. It's the worst team I've seen in a while. Yeah, but she's only allowed to respond to that. Or she respond to that. Listen, I've got respect for your team. I've got a lot of United followers here. Right? Would you say this United team is the worst for a while? And how many players now will get in the Fergie team?
Oh, that is a very, very good question. In terms of, do I think this is the worst team post Sir Alex Ferguson? I would say no, because I feel like there was worse teams. If you look at, for instance, Van Gaal's team, and he had like Falco in his team. Yeah, he had a Phil Jones and Chris Smalling centre-back partnership. You look at things like that and you think, I am grateful for the team I have got now. And I actually think, looking at the signings we've got, I actually think this is the best team. Even though the results aren't there, if you look at the squad just on paper, it is the best team for me post Sir Alex Ferguson. You've got easily several world-class players in there. You've got players who have got potential to be world-class as well. And you've got players who are game changers at Manchester United too. And that is something what I never used to see in the previous squads under the previous managers. You never seen them game changers. There were some people who were passionate about the club, but there was also some players who just didn't do it for me whatsoever. And I'll name one in particular, which I hated, Sanchez. That was just a signing I just wish we never got.
He scored against us. He still scored against us, though, didn't he, in the 90th minute? Against where his 2 goals on the left hand, he scored a goal against us.
That was probably his best memory.
Yeah.
I can't think of that.
Oh, man. Anyone scores against Newcastle United, oh, my God. We are terrible at the back. I'll come to them later on, get your opinion on Newcastle in a bit. Yeah, so you don't think it's not the worst Man U team then?
No, I don't believe it is the worst Man United team.
If you had Phil Jones and in it, like you said, Phil Jones in it. I mean, Chris Smalling as well. He's at Roma now, yeah. And guess who coaching him? Jose Mourinho. And guess what plays with him as well? Henrik Mkhitaryan as well. But to be fair,
both of them were
yeah.
not in good terms with Jose Mourinho neither. So apparently, from what I was reading, Mkhitaryan was actually debating on getting a transfer out of Roma when he found out Jose Mourinho became the manager.
He's in the first team at the minute, though, he's doing that, by the way, but at the minute, they want to be in that top four. They spend £88 million in the summer. I mean, I'm sorry, I love Italian football. They spend a lot of money. I mean, Tammy Abraham cost £34 million. And I'll tell you something, right? They've got to get top four this season. Otherwise, I could see George being out of a job, I'm afraid. And we'll see what happens on that one. And I got John as well. I noticed that Man U are going to get a football psychologist to help to keep performance. Do you think it's a good idea? And do you also think Newcastle should do the same?
For me, I actually do think it is a good idea to have a sports psychologist, especially in this day and age with the coronavirus. You see a lot more players who are out for a lot longer. They're not getting that game time. So I think they will suffer a bit mentally as well. And you do need that a little bit of support. Everyone needs support somewhere, and you do see like people have like HR to go to. You've got counselling of their jobs to go to. So having this sports psychologist is such a good idea, and I will definitely recommend for other teams as well, Newcastle, to get it, because Newcastle, you have got recently got new owners, you've got a new manager as well, so things are going to be completely different. You've got probably players who played under Steve Bruce but doesn't play under Eddie Howe, and that will probably affect them mentally as well, thinking, have I done something wrong? But you always know there's going to be a manager who will take such a good liking to one player and think this player does not suit my tactics whatsoever, will use him as a bench player or just not use him whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a great comment, sort of thing. That's a brilliant comment there, by the way. And like I said, I've got to, you've got to become a member of my channel. So please click on the member, click on join, and then you become a member. Also, donations open as well. If you want to donate, whatever you want to do, even for £1 or 99p, crack on. Wherever it goes towards my channel. Like new things for the channel. It would not, I'll repeat, not go on towards holidays and stuff. I can guarantee them 200%. And I've got Tanji as well, even to my guy. LVG comment on Christmas was hilarious. Wine and some pie, goodbye. I got Robert, so John, are you worried that Newcastle could get relegated? At the minute, I am. It depends if we get in January. If we need a whole new back four, by the way, Robert, we need a whole new back four because that's not good enough. The midfield needs sorting out. And up front, we definitely need a striker up front to take the heat of Callum Wilson. I'll comment on when it's on. And also Alex Ferguson chooses big runs to fill. And good evening to you, John. Evening to you, Gary. Hope you're okay. I find it's quickly going to talk about Ole as well. LVG, Rojo, Falcao and Di Maria too. On paper, great signings, but they flop badly. Oh, wow. Enough. I've never known John to be so quiet. Well done, Maisie. Wow. It's, at the end of the day, it's Maisie sure as well. She's the guest, and she can tell you when there's lots she want, yeah. The record I kept quiet was 12 minutes. When I had Roger and Banji doing this on my channel a few months back. Never said a word for 10 minutes. Would you believe that? There you go. Edinson is starting to turn up against us. Worst can do some damage to Man U if he gets the service. And Alex Ferguson tried to sign Shearer once. Yeah, he did. Love Macy's passion for our club. That's from Richard. Watch out for him, man, because he does love the check. That's this, by the way. I thought it was really harsh when John said Manchester's blue and that Man United are has-beens. No. And I got Tanji's going, I wonder how many Man U managers Paul Popper's got sat. Go on, give me that answer right away.
Well, Jose Mourinho won. Would you say it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? I'd say the whole squad was probably Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with the signings he brought. A lot of people expected so much better because, say, for example, your standards were here when it comes to the end of the season. You bought Sancho, goes up. You bought Varane, goes higher. You bought Cristiano Ronaldo, it's all the way up here, everyone. Yeah. And I think a lot of people probably expected you need to be top of the league every single game. You need to win every single game too, because we've got Cristiano Ronaldo. But then you've got people who are like, oh, Cristiano Ronaldo, it's all his fault why we're not performing, but he's the one who's got the most goals. And people they don't even blame Paul Popper, they blame Cristiano Ronaldo coming for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacking. And I completely disagree with that, because I think if Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't there, what would the club actually be like right now?
Yeah, that's another thing. So that'll be very, very interesting. And not only that, who's going to take the mantle as well? It's going to be difficult, man. I mean, I still think you get top four. No question about it. I'd rather you get top four than all the others as well. I'm not going to lie. People say I'm a secret red. I'm not. Just got respect for United. I've got true story. I also tried to sign Ronaldo, the first bloke on the scene. That's Sporting. Then United signed under Arsenal's rules. And since to this day, United won a watch, and he's the greatest of all time.
Yes.
Wow. Hi, it's in the phone. I've been on this channel before. Hope you're okay. And let's play a game. How many times does John nods his heat? Quite a few. And big up John and BSC and the phone. And thanks again, this. Now, John, I touched on this question last night to Kendall, who's a fellow Newcastle fan. Who is your thought for Simon Jordan from talkSPORT, who has an agenda over Newcastle, and that he is so negative? Thing is, like, Simon Jordan, in my opinion, right, sometimes he talks sense, I'm not going to lie, but when it comes to Newcastle United, let's be real, he's absolutely clueless. And what's your take on Simon Jordan, Macy?
I don't watch talkSPORT. I just avoid it at all costs, so I don't even listen to them. It's bad enough listening to the Sky Sports commentators with Graham Souness about Man United. I couldn't listen to talkSPORT either.
Wow. I wouldn't even bother, because these pundits, people like Ray Parlour, Jimmy O'Hara, Gabby O'Bonnell, right, Simon Jordan, are all saying that Steve Bruce has done a wonderful job at Newcastle, yeah? Excuse me. I tell you what, 2 wins from 21 last season, right? Should have been sacked. We had a poor pre-season, yeah? Got beat off York City in the summer, yeah? Came to New Season unprepared, yeah? Should have been sacked, yeah? This guy should never ever be manager in the first place in Newcastle United since Rafa Benitez left the club. I stand by that. He should have gone before that, and the rest is history. We get relegated, it's down to him. I got Niall again. I remember the video Paul done on the Team Review channel. If you checked on his Team Review, check him out as well. He's fantastic. And that he went on a big rant about Simon Jordan from talkSPORT. Not once, but twice. Surely he's not got a good thing to say about Newcastle. No, he hasn't. The guy is an absolute muppet. He really, really is. And if you've got any questions for young Macy, please find them aware. She'd be happy to answer them, sort of thing. So I'll get to it. Best squad difference from the best team, though. Now I've got Simon Jordan. Agenda is with Saudi Arabia, not necessarily Newcastle United. That's from Eric. He should have won. Falcao is an absolute legend. Just was a nightmare for him in the Premier League. What happened to Falcao? I mean, he came to on season-long loan, right? He's ripping it up for Atletico Madrid, comes to United, and then I don't know if his injuries play a part, or is the Premier League too quick for him? I just don't know.
He was also at Chelsea, and he didn't do well at Chelsea neither. And for me, there's just some players who could be absolutely amazing in different leagues, but then come to the Premier League knowing how different the Premier League is, how fast-paced it is. Some players just simply can't handle that, and I think that was the case for him, to be honest. It's a shame he's a good player, but it just didn't work out for him.
It's a shame, really, because I enjoy watching this guy, and he plays for Vallecano, right, in the Spanish league. He's 35 years old, and you're not going to believe this, but Vallecano, last time I looked in the La Liga table, they were fourth. That's got the highest position forever. So big up to Vallecano, big up to Falcao, and I hope that he gets in the Champions League. And I've got Mark as well. Hi to you, Mark. John Mearsey. Cristiano was my favourite player for United, and he was brilliant with his skills and step over to the bar. I love your passion for your team. I'm a big shameless fan. That's from Mark Smith. Big up to you, Mark. I love your show, Mearsey. To be honest, I haven't watched your show yet, but I'm going to. And I'm going to watch your watch along as well. So anytime Man U play Newcastle next season, if we stay up, I'd love to comment that as well, if you do the men's one as well. And or you can comment mine as well. Even to Tom, hope you're okay, another Newcastle fan. I've got Alex, Italian league, who's just Italian. He's doing well with Roma. He is one of the better players. Merry Christmas to you, Tom, as well, mate. 30 matches in the Premier League with Phil Jones in defence. I'd rather take Tom Jones in defence, to be fair. And I do not want anyone in Newcastle. Mostly down to RVP.
Yes.
John, you're going to win this game. I don't trust United. Listen, sir, he's a big United fan, right? I like him. I think he's a great guy. I've heard the songs of it. But he reckons that Newcastle's going to beat United. Me, personally, I don't think we will. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope we do beat them. And question for for you, Maisie, what would be your best moment as a United fan? As for you, John, as a Newcastle fan? Well, the best one for me is to win a trophy. Well, first to win the FA Cup and then push on from there. And every people's dream is to win the Premier League, but that's not how many times I'll win the FA Cup within 3 years. And what about you, Macy?
For me, my best memory what I had about Manchester United was winning the Champions League, and I would absolutely love in my lifetime to Manchester United actually win a Champions League, like a treble all over again, just so I can witness it with my own eyes, the atmosphere, the feeling. I would absolutely love for me to actually feel that. So I, rather than just watching the clips and think, oh yeah, it looks so brilliant, everyone looks so happy, I just want to feel it in my body myself.
Oh, bless you. I tell you what, though, I'd love to see Newcastle Man U final in the Champions League. That'd be a fantastic dream within 5 years. That will be absolutely fantastic. Depends who we buy, but United still will be favourite. But whoever we get in, we'll give it a right go. But yeah, that's a good ambition there. I've got now again, I'm a big Man U fan. Newcastle are linked to a few players in January. If they get the signing spot on, I can see them staying up. But I think Newcastle's going down could be the best thing to rebuild the team. We'll comment on one later on. I really hope we don't waste that financial fair play budget on age and second string has been, never was been. We keep getting linked with. Yeah, that's true. Merry Christmas all. We should get Colin Cordy from Wolves, pulling out of Wolves. Yeah, it's been 10 years. It's saying trust the process. That's my term, by the way. Trust the process. I hope you don't get the CM fate, John. Well, we'll see what happens in January. When was Newcastle last trophy won? That was back in 1969, Robert. That's in the third cup, 1969. We have not won the Premier League or the Old First Division since 1927. That is a long time for that football club. My favourite Newcastle match was 4-0 against Arsenal. I like Man U's Champions League win against Chelsea in 2008 when John Terry actually slipped. Missed that pen. I've always said Fred, that seems to be the easy scapegoat for fans and media when United do badly. Now, for me, he's been putting in consistently good performances, and also every manager always picks him. What do you make?
Can I have a like button right here, please? Can I get a like button? Can I have a love button with this comment right now? I really want to like this. I want to like this button. I want to like this comment right now.
Definitely.
This is spot on 1000%. For me, with Fred, he is definitely scapegoat at Manchester United. The thing is, what was definitely with this season, no Manchester United player pressed. Fred is known for pressing. He presses. If he does something wrong, he will get penalised for the whole game. But now, because the whole team is pressing, Fred is looking absolutely brilliant. His tacklings, his interceptions is absolutely amazing. And right now, I would drop Scott McTominay and I would actually try Donny van de Beek alongside Fred, because I know people are saying, well, Europa League different. They actually got used together in the Europa League, and we did play very well last season with a Donny and Fred partnership. So why not try it again? If it works, you try it, and I'd really like to see that again. And knowing how Ralph is, so how the pressing he is as a manager, Fred is not gonna get dropped unless he gets injured. No chances he getting dropped, and the form he is in it. I absolutely love it because he deserves it. He deserves to. He deserves it because he's such a good player and nobody sees it. Even when he's at Brazil and he had such a good tournament, but because he didn't play well in the final, he was seen as that he had a terrible competition, which that wasn't the case whatsoever. And with Fred, he gets played as a CDM. He's a box-to-box midfielder. Playing out of position, and you can still play well out of position, does show the kind of player he is. I did see a comment here. He can be very clumsy, but I think he has been a lot more careful recently as well. And I think he was one of the highest for his tacklings and his interceptions in the last so many games under both Carrick and Rangnick.
Wow. I tell you what, he has improved. He has improved a lot by the sounds of it, and I think he has improved. We got Joe Linton as well. He has improved as well for Newcastle United. So 2 Brazilians, eh? what a player in the World Cup in Qatar. Who's going to be first, Fred or Joe Linton? I wonder who I think it's going to be. It's not going to be our team, my player. I've got, what's your thoughts on the team? Could be the richest team in the championship with playing Preston and Blackpool on a cold Tuesday night. In my opinion, right, we're not in the championship yet, but if we get good players coming in January, we shouldn't have to be worried about these now. But if we do get relegated, they've got to be prepared. Otherwise, we ain't going back up. Brucey did a good job in his bank balance. 8 million he got paid for being sacked. Into Muggle will be okay. I got one of my favourites on my channel, just Judy Hops as well. Even Judy, she's lovely, by the way. Curious what my favourite Man United memory is. And John, what's your favourite tune memory? Well, my favourite memory is we beat Man U 5-0. I'm sorry. Back in 1996. And then Philip Albert scored that lovely chip goal, sort of, and Shearer scored the fourth goal. And let's be real, what was your favourite memory? As you said, didn't you, winning the treble, right?
When, from what I've seen, witnessed with my own eyes, Champions League final 2008. But as a Man United fan as a whole, it has to obviously be the treble because no one's ever won the domestic treble like us. I know Man City's won the English treble, but they haven't got a Champions League, so that's a different matter for them.
Yeah, there you go. I don't want to be relegated, but I'm genuinely asked, with the back we got a PIF, we are cut through championship teams like a hot knife through butter. Eric, we're not down, not relegated yet, mate. All I'm saying is, right, see, we get in January, if we can get up and we find that back four, we'll be absolutely fine, mate. I truly believe that. Alert Stotty Crew, that's from Mark. He still wants to have a Stotty cake. And one day I'm going to have it, by the way. And I've got Gary D, 100% review. Stevie Bruce should, I'll start again, 100% agree with you. Steve Bruce should never have been appointed Newcastle. Totally agree. I'll sell that from day number one. And look what's happened to it now. John, you ever saw Anton Deck before seeing James's Park, who are huge two fans? I've never met them now. Never met them, mate. I've met them at all whatsoever. I do apologise, but one day I will. Newcastle United has dual written over it. 99, I remember that from a Toons fan. 3-1 to Newcastle, showing up, yeah, eating it. My favourite moment is watching 10 Man City fans celebrate a fake trouble outside their stadium live on Sky Sports. Wow, hey! I've never, ever, right, had a Man City fan on me chat. Never. And I have been trying, but I don't know why they don't want to.
Do you want to know what fact is as well, which a lot of people are going to be shocked at? I was reading the attendances for 2021 for each stadium, and Manchester City had more fans in their stadium in 2021 than Chelsea did.
Wow, what does that say, man?
Does that mean it's not Etihad anymore? It's empty Stamford Bridge.
Unbelievable, man. That is unbelievable. I can't work that one at all whatsoever. And they can't even sell the seats, can they? They can't even sell the seats for the Champions League game. They cannot. What is wrong? I'll tell you what. I mean, they're one of the biggest clubs in the world. They can't sell out at home, right? I guarantee you one thing. If that was us, that'd be a sellout at St. James's Park all the way through. Mm-hmm. And I've got comes as well from Rover Flat Track Bully size of Serie A. I believe the reason win over Atalanta is early win against one of the bigger teams in about 2 years. You just see them before start gushing over smiling and Mkhitaryan. Wow. I thought they were playing good football first couple of games, then they kind of revert the tide. But would John and Macy swap Lascelles and Maguire in your team?
No, I'd rather have Maguire. And I don't like Maguire in the
team. He's absolutely poor, isn't he? He's absolutely poor, isn't he? I mean, not being funny, but he can be good. But, you know, he makes some high-profile mistakes. He got done for a turn as well. We need to pressure him on Monday. We need to pressure him, but I don't think we will. We don't play a pressing game. ASM could do damage if he wakes up. I mean, and what's Macy thoughts on Tony Martial? Some rumours about him coming to Newcastle, and many fans, including John, say he's rubbish. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm not. He's okay, but he's not going to come into a relegation team and start rolling the sleeves up. That's why I don't want a player like him. But do you think there's a player in Martial and Newcastle could bring out the best?
With Martial, I am not a fan of Martial. He's been at the club now for around 7 years, and he has had 1.5 good seasons. and that was his first season. And when the COVID suspended and we had that second half of the season, he was deadly. And they were the best seasons of Tony Martial. So you know what? When you have got a player, we bought him very young. And then he had in his contract, we had to pay so much money if he won Ballon d'Or. So they had such high expectations of Anthony Martial. And then he ended up being, honestly, such a flop. And people saying it's because he's not playing in the right position. But yes, I agree. He is a winger. He's a left wing player, and he looks better on the left. However, with Anthony Martial, his 1.5 best seasons was when he was actually playing as a striker role. But then people were saying the only reason why Anthony Martial isn't playing well is because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is playing him out of position. But he played his half best season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and if that was the case, why was he such a flop with Jose Mourinho, and why was he such a flop with Louis van Gaal? They were the questions where I do have, because you can't just blame Ole for Anthony Martial not playing very well. And I think on the pitch, especially when he's a striker, he is such a lazy player. He doesn't run for the ball. He does run quite a lot when he is a winger, but when he's a striker, he just probably thinks, I'll stay up there, it doesn't matter. And he just thinks his role is just to score a goal. Before he got dropped for Edinson Cavani, he scored like 1 or 2 goals. And that is, as a striker, you are not expecting to score 1 or 2 goals in half a season. And we've got the likes of Edinson Cavani on the bench, who is one of the top goal scorers in Europe. It's absolutely ridiculous. And in terms of him going to Newcastle, I don't believe he will. The reason for that, his wife actually come out and said herself several years ago, which really annoyed me, that she wants him to play for Real Madrid. So when he does go, because he is going in January, he's come out and said it. His agents come out and said it on Sky Sports and stuff. So, and I think that is also disrespectful to the club. I know he's already had talks with Ole, but Rangnick is such a new manager. You can't be putting pressure on such a new manager. No. This is why I disagree with the likes of Harry Kane, what he done to Nuno. He's a new manager, and it's a lot of additional pressure for a new manager, because they're going to be under pressure as it is, coming into a squad, trying to do the best for them, especially with the expectations of Manchester United. And then you've got the likes of Anthony Martial and his agent playing up. And not just that, you probably have Paul Pogba and his agent are playing up eventually, and you'll probably have you hear Donny and his agent sniping now and again as well. So it's such a hard role for Rangnick as it is, and I think he's put so much more pressure on. Sell him. I don't think it's going to be to Newcastle, but I think he would get a lot more game time at Newcastle. But I don't know if I think he would improve, yes, but I don't know if he would be that player for use for in the future. Would he be that one who would take you into Europe, and would he take you into the top 4 of the Premier League?
Well, I tell you what, though, I've never wanted Martial, to be fair. Listen, he's a talent. When he's on his best, when he's on his game, it's on his game. But in some games, he goes hiding. B, he doesn't look interested. And C, he doesn't even want to be on the pitch. For me, I wouldn't have him in Newcastle. He's on £240,000 a week, people, yes. Right? And he said there as well that his wife wants him to play for Real Madrid. Well, he plays Spain, but I'm not being funny, but I think he should go further down south than Madrid, ahead to Seville. I think he's going to end up there on loan. I think he end up going to Seville on loan. And we see what happens on that. But for me, let's be real, I would not take Martial. I'm sorry, but I just couldn't do it. But what you said there, I hope all Newcastle fans listen to that. So I got Newcastle don't have a process until now. They had their directors and players. It's patch up window, Dustin Ginger. And then I got that Muggles. And I used to stand not far away from Ant Deck and the Gallagher scoreboard when they were in back of Grove before they got really famous. Not giving me age away, but I had the pleasure of seeing Sir Bobby Charlton and Georgie Best playing against the Toon. Have you heard of those? I know you're quite young, but I don't know you can remember them playing, but you have to heard of them.
Of course, I've got to hear of Sir Bobby Charlton and George Best. Sir Bobby Charlton, who was there when before the Munich disaster, and he was one of the players who was key to helping us build up as a team afterwards. And so was George Best, the famous George Best, who wore that number 7 shirt, the first Man United player to win Ballon d'Or as well. And he actually won it several days ago, so many years ago as well. So It came up in like somebody's memories, like this day in whatever year it was. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. George Best was the first Man United player to win Ballon d'Or, so he's such an amazing talent, George Best, honestly. And you do watch his clips and you think, what a skillful player, absolutely amazing.
But I tell you what, though, absolutely brilliant, absolutely fantastic, and there'd be another Georgie Best in my book. I'm afraid, unless it's Cristiano Ronaldo. But other than that, I mean, it's going to be hard again to get another Georgie Best. And I've got Judy as well. Oh, she's lovely. Fred's one of those players where when his pants, when he is good, he's awesome. That's from Judy. Fred's having his Jordan moment for Man United. Judy, Keith, are you the PE teacher from Kes? And Fred needs to work on his defence. And clumsy player sometimes, well, he has improved. Foxy, honestly, don't ever put Jordan in the same sentence as Fred. One represents one of the biggest clubs in the world in Brazil, and the other's Jordan. Oh man, they got now again. I know you said Nowlin from One Direction, but glad defense proved people wrong when he scored a screamer and again shot up at Stolters. Can't remember what game that was. 100%.
That was the Crystal Palace game. It was on around the 70-odd minute, and he was outside the box, and Greenwood assisted that goal. Greenwood came on as a substitute, and no one expected Fred to score because Fred always takes a shot, and it always never works because we already seen that it didn't work when it was for Mendy against Chelsea, so probably people thought, oh my God. And it was with his right foot, and people tried to say Fred tried to assist someone, but Fred was like, nah, I aim for the goal, I aim for the net, that was it's mine. And the celebration, what him and Teller's done, it was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, man. Oh, bless you. You're absolutely right. But that goal's great against Palace, by the way. Let's be honest. Got yes. Judy again. I mean, I tell you what, she is a star, this one. Relegation's not a big deal. People forget we had it twice before under Ashley. I'll be traumatized we get relegated. Yeah, I don't want to be relegated. But at the end of the day, I definitely traumatized we do go down, by the way. But it's still got time. But we need to get the players coming in. And then hopefully we should give it a right go. Can you come back immediately if NUFC is relegated? That's the question. That's from Zito. I say yes, but you've got to start well. Do you think Newcastle will be back up if they get relegated?
For me, with Newcastle, when they do go into the Championship, they're never there for that long, and especially knowing that they've got these new owners who are the richest in the Premier League, they can afford to get these new players. But I think when it does come to the transfer window, they need to be very cautious. And what I would personally do if I was Newcastle's board, I will look at Burnley, look at Watford, look at Southampton. You look at like the table, like the second half of the table, or maybe the top half of the table for loanees. Yeah. But in terms of permanent signings, you look at from, I'd say, 8th to relegation. Look at them players and then aim for their best players. Look at like Tarkowski from Burnley. Look at Sarr from Watford. And then people say about Jesse Lingard coming to Newcastle as well. And I think if you do take him, you'd have to take him on a permanent because his contract's ending in the summer.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a couple of loanees because you look at loanees like Conor Gallagher, who's worked, so I'm sure there'd be a loanee who'd be able to be about to. And another player who I think could be good for you to look at as well is perhaps maybe looking at Ward-Prowse. He will be another player who will be so good in your midfield because with Newcastle, your set pieces and your corners aren't really the best. And I think having that player of Ward-Prowse, he will make the whole difference.
Yeah, totally agree. We need someone to go with dead ball specialists in the team. We haven't even got that at all whatsoever, that sort of thing. That will possibly be absolutely perfect. We should be bullying Southampton for him, do you know what I mean? He won't even fancy a new challenge, do you know what I mean? You can't turn out Newcastle for Southampton, man. You just can't. But we're going to see what happens in January, but I'm sure they'll do like a transfer update at some stage and just see what happens on that. And we should see. But I think that's a good answer there, Bonnie. My favourite Man U memory is when they beat Arsenal 3-2. Then the excuses on AFTV to go with it, which is pleasing on the act. Have you heard of AFTV?
I've heard of it, but I don't watch it. I just don't watch it.
Pure goal, that. anytime they get beat, it's pure gold. And oh man, I do watch it sometimes. It's just funny, do you know what I mean? But I've got JK again. If you could buy one player, who would it be and why?
Oh, that is such a good question. Right now, when you do look at Manchester United, you do need a CDM and you need a right back. I've said from the beginning, we're not going to win the Premier League because I didn't think we was, because there's a couple of signings from that. When you look at Liverpool and Manchester City's starting 11 squad, their strongest squads, we still need to improve on that. But the biggest one is a CDM. A lot of people saying Jude Bellingham. But why would you have a Jude Bellingham who is a central midfielder where we need a defensive midfielder? Because if we got a defensive midfielder, we can play Fred alongside him. You can play Donny alongside him. You can play Scott alongside him. You can play Paul Pogba if he decides to sign his contract extension. You could even play Bruno alongside this CDM because he can drop back that little bit. So a CDM for me is very, very crucial. If I was going to pick a CDM right now, I would have Tuka Mendy from Monaco. He would be my ideal choice. But if I was looking just at the Premier League for CDMs, I would take Calvin Phillips. He would be the CDM I would take because a lot of people don't like him and he won't come because of Leeds, the Leeds connection. But Eric Cantona, he did come from Leeds.
He did.
But with Calvin, I know he's a born-bred Leeds fan as well, Calvin Phillips. But for me, I just think overall he's such a good defensive midfielder. He can switch from being a defensive midfielder to a central midfielder. So he can be a bit of both. He's very quick on the ball. He's that rock in Leeds. And I think if Leeds didn't play him, there'd be so much more shaker, especially last season and now. The only problem is with Calvin Phillips, he is a bit injury prone. Yeah. He can get a bit injured now and again. But the thing that I like about Calvin Phillips, we've seen him play as a lone CDM for Leeds. You've seen him in a double pivot for England. So you know he suits different formations, and knowing how Leeds are, he would suit Rangnick's kind of formation in terms of pressing. And from what I was hearing, Rangnick has asked Manchester United to closely monitor Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, I mean, we linked to him as well, by the way, but we're still going to talk about it more. But it's the thing, it's about 150 players been linked since we had a takeover. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just thinking, look, just pipe down, man, pipe down. And
you're the new Manchester United with transfer windows.
We are. We just think to anyone which moves, you know what I mean? We just say, oh man, it's ridiculous, man. But we'll see what happens on the Calvin Phillips situation. And says, John, what makes you think we wouldn't get back up in the Premier League? I didn't say that. What I said was we have to start well if we are to get back up in the Premier League. Not just does FEC second season. We did it before twice. Look at Wolves, did an ambitious order. With PIF, we were beast the championship. Listen, I'm positive, yeah, but we have got to start well. You don't start well in the championship, I'll tell you what, you got a lot of catch up to do as well. It's as simple as that. Look at Sheffield United. Yeah, they didn't start well. Look where they are in a minute. Keith, did you see Enrico Rowe at Twickenham 70s? No idea who he is. To be fair, Stamford Bridge is a cold toilet. There's more atmosphere on a moon. And that is from Judy again. If I just comment quickly, because we're going to talk about Newcastle quickly. Newcastle have to win 8 out of 20 games to stay up. But if Newcastle can get Marseille, Brazilian central mid, Gerson, he used to play for Fiorentina, by the way, and a few others, they could fight up the table. I think you have to come out as well, Ginger. So, relegation 12 years is ridiculous, and I want a record for our club. Definitely not. I don't want to see that. I don't want to get relegation on me form. Maybe in the championship, they should reset the team and early young players like Arsenal. We need, we'll see. By 8 games, 2-1 to Newcastle, that's a due jury, and the winner will be decided on a defensive looter. Martial is better for Italy. Yeah, I think he would do, mate. Premier League's too quick for him. Well, it's been there 7 years. I question Martial's work with and wouldn't really take him for a relegation fight with Newcastle. I wouldn't. Since his name was mentioned, I said, God, no, please no. No disrespect to you, Macy, but please no. Macy, now I had a chance to ask the question you asked you were on a break. What's your thoughts on Camara and Hedera? Excuse the spelling. Would you take one of those midfielders?
Oh yeah, of course I would take one of the midfielders because the midfield is the part what we are definitely struggling in right now. So, and knowing that the fact before Ragnick came into Manchester United and he identified a midfielder who we needed to sign, that just shows how lacking we are. And I think if we had that, of course, that midfielder, it would help us a lot more with the creativity too, because that has been lacking a lot recently.
Yeah, I totally agree. Kamara's a quality player from last year, apparently. I mean, he's a box-box midfielder who we should be getting as well. But at the end of the day, it's competition we use. I think Juve wants him as well, by the way. I could be wrong. But maybe Evan Chris everyone, that's an Ian. Real Madrid are near taken, that's Martial, I presume. Pressure on a new manager. You're talking to a Newcastle family yet. And I've got now Kian as well. I believe the reason Eddie Howe turned down Celtic in the side was maybe to do with his staff, Tyndall, Reverton, and the people who he's worked with at Bournemouth are now at the tune. Yeah, that could be that. Jason Scott, Jason D. Scott to a channel, mate. Real Madrid, Real Betis, by the way. He's thinking Real Betis. She does have a good point, John. If you take United players, you have agents who are bad to work with and some difficulties, personality. Wow. I don't know my team. That team more likely. I have Ronaldo.
He's not for sale. I blocked all. I made sure all signings blocked.
Wow. And I got Martial. Yeah, I don't think going anywhere. Martial's just one of those overhyped French players who end up believing his own hype and not reaching half of what he thinks he is. There's better, more consistent mid-table players than him. Correct. Best
I
was
agree.
Wow. And John, what do you think of this player, Odion Ighalo? Now, you had him at United, right? We've been linked to him today. What do you think of him?
You know what? I really did like Ighalo. The problem was with Ighalo, he didn't have that game time at Manchester United. He was obviously brought in as a loanee due to injuries, and I think he brought in that little bit more like different kind of play to Manchester United. He was very calm on the ball for me, and he was actually wanting to go to Manchester United again, and he was actually he already took a pay cut coming to Manchester United because he grew up loving Manchester United as a boy, and he wanted to take a further pay cut to stay at Manchester United. And I know a lot of people say, well, Ighalo isn't Manchester United quality, but you want these kind of players who want to be at your club. And he didn't do a bad job for me, and he did help us out in some of the Europa League games, but I just think it was a shame that he just didn't get enough game time. I think he would be very well in for Newcastle, but the problem is I didn't see him in any Premier League games for Manchester United. It was all European games, and Europa League and the Premier League is completely different, so I'm not too sure of how he would be able to handle the Premier League compared to a very slow Europa League group stage.
Yeah, very true. I mean, he is a good player. He was good at Watford, by the way. Yeah, then he went to China. So, and I got a good question for Ryan from Canada. Why has Mason Greenwood been playing out wide instead of a striker in the past few years?
So the reason for that is because we haven't had a proper right-winged player. We have, obviously, Martial. We've got Rashford, who are wingers. Rashford is absolutely terrible on the right. Martial's a little bit better on the right, but I wouldn't play Martial. So Greenwood is such an amazing player, and he's good on both his feet, which is brilliant. And I think what it was because we had like Edinson Cavani, and then before we had Edinson Cavani, Martial was playing his best season there up front, and then before that we had Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So we was having that striker role, it was basically occupied anyway. And we can't exactly leave a talent like Mason Greenwood staying there in the under-23s. And I wouldn't want to loan him out neither just because of the talent he has got. And he obviously was ready for Manchester United. And knowing that he was good at both his feet, that was why he was on the right. So we had that little bit of game time because that was the only space what was occupied for him. But now Jadon Sancho is at Manchester United. It does obviously narrow his opportunities. But even though I do love Greenwood, I think he might have been playing a bit too much for his age as well, just because he's still only very young, such a young player. And I think now he needs to work close with Ronaldo, work close with Cavani, and adapt to the striker role, especially now we're playing this 4-2-2. Because if, for example, we want to give Cavani a rest, Greenwood could play there. If you want to sub one off, Greenwood's there. You get what I mean? He can do the striker role now. I think it's time to adapt him through.
Wow, that's a good comment there. Very good comment there. And I hope Mason Greenwood turn it on right now. I think he'd be fantastic. And he has to call FFA for this guy if I was a United fan. That song, Park. I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to read that. That's a song for Park's son. Remember him? Jason Park.
I love Park. He was such a special talent at Manchester United, and he was so underrated as well. Yeah. Because I think he had such good players around him, he wasn't recognised for the play he was. And even Sir Alex Ferguson said when we was in that final with Barcelona where we lost, he said that he wished that Park did start because he thinks it would have been a completely different game if he started.
Fantastic. I'm going to read this comments out very quickly before going to Newcastle's side. And then would you take Odion Ighalo back, John? For me, I wouldn't, because he bottled it, so he got relegated. He did well, yeah. But does he fancy another relegation dogfight? I very much doubt it very much. So probably not on this occasion. I probably would if it's the last assault, but I wouldn't take him back in a minute. Yeah, that song's on a few YouTube videos. Let's hope they don't say that anymore. Unless you're a Scouse, that is. I would take Judy back. Eric, the problem with buying all these other teams' players, if they have a massive premium because they're same league rivals, can't tell me there's not better defense out there than Tarkowski. I wanted Tarkowski, but if Botman come in, then I wouldn't bother having him at all, sort of thing. So AFTV is hilarious, especially when Troops loses it. That's yeah.
Troops is funny. I think Troops is hilarious. He's actually the only Arsenal channel I actually watch.
Wow, I watch Lee Goddard. I mean, Ryan, you know all about Lee Goddard. Fantastic. He's on AFT. He used to be on AFTV, but now he's at got his own channel, and he is absolutely mint. He speaks facts, says how like he is. That's what I like about him. I don't think Chelsea win the league. The wheels has fallen off, and down to the slide is a 2-horse race between Man City and Liverpool. And okay, with Scouse at the far. Fair enough. Actually, real name Sean Latson Kelsey probably June's down at bar. Who's in? Man U needs players who runs a lot. That's evident in the statistics, at least working hard in the team. And imagine saying Phillips would be Ari's mate. We didn't take Jeremy Beadle. Tarkowski hardly keeping Burnley head above water, is he? Wow. Yet everyone's on about him like he's single-handedly going to give Newcastle.
But you also need to look at as well, it's not about individual brilliance neither. You can't just rely on Tarkowski to get results for Burnley, because you look at Nick Pope. What's Nick Pope done this season? And you've seen all the seasons of Nick Pope. Yeah. So you can't just pin him out when there's other players at Burnley who isn't performing for me. But I think he's actually been one of the better players, including Chris Wood, for Burnley.
Yeah. Good player, Chris Wood. Someone said the other day that on I think it's a fans forum that he'd take Chris Wood, and we laughed about it. So if I said Chris Wood, what have we run by PAF? Wow, not for me. It is good and it's fine. It'd be good for the championship, but not sure. Newcastle needs more than one placement. It's a big job to fix. Are you going to let us have Dean Henderson and the other guy? I can't remember his name. Can we take Dean Henderson if he's available in January?
Everyone wants our Dean Henderson, but I think he's going to go to Ajax.
Is that gone to Ajax? Done deal?
I think from what I was reading, it's going to be near enough a done deal. He's going to go on a season-long loan to Ajax, and I think that would be such a good idea. People's trying to say it's because Ten Hag's coming in the summer and he wants a bit of an idea of how Dean Henderson's going to be. And I think it's good because of how Ajax is. We've been improving the players and adapting the players. With Dean Henderson, he did come from our youth and he's been at Sheffield United for a couple of seasons, but he needs European experience now, and he needs to know what it's like to play at a big club. I know Manchester United's a big club, but he's not going to get 100% game time with the way David De Gea is playing, so he needs experience at another big club.
Fair enough. And wish you all the best if he does go to Ajax. So that could be another name to cross off the list. You also have Dead Word. You still have Mata and Matic. We have Shearer and Richie. All these people are dinosaurs now. Richie's done. Shelby gets one last chance. Mata, I still think he's got it. What do you think of Mata? I mean,
He hasn't really played this season. Well, he did play in the young boys, but he wasn't that good for me. I think he's only at Manchester United for his coaching badges. And with Matic, I don't believe he is a deadwood. I would name loads of different deadwoods before Matic, because Matic is still very calm on the ball and he is a game changer, and he makes the difference for Manchester United because he's the only sole CDM we've got, but we can't play him every single game because he is aging a lot now. So we can't play him every single game. But when he does play, he definitely does make that difference for me. I would sell Phil Jones before I would look at selling Matic. I would sell Martial before I'd sell Matic. I would. There's several players. I probably would. I'm trying to think of the players who I'd sell. You'd obviously sell Lingard, you sell Pogba, who are running out. They're literally running their contracts out because no club want to pay their wages.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Mata, obviously 34, 35. I still think, for me, I mean, if he does play for experience, I think it'd be fantastic. I wouldn't mind having a Newcastle United Mata. I wouldn't mind taking him for experience sort of thing. So just as one there, we go to Newcastle talk. Before his recent issues, I thought Bissouma would have been perfect for United. Glad to see Taylor starting now. Much better all around compared to Shearer. Was calling for you to loan him. No chance of that now. That's
I agree.
I like Taylor by the way. I want to talk about Newcastle. I know you've been watching Newcastle United this season, right? Much of it sort of thing. What do you think of Newcastle's season? I mean, you only won one game this season. We're second bottom of the table. And Steve Bruce got sacked after 7 games. And what's going on, in your opinion, at Newcastle?
For me, there's just not enough good players to take on winning getting through relegation at Newcastle, because the defence is absolutely shocking at Newcastle, and it is badly to say. Callum Wilson, he is aging and he's so injury prone. I see him injured more than I see him play for Newcastle. The only good player who I could think of off the top of my head for Newcastle is St. Maximin. He's a quality player, and if I was going to do this switch up for Newcastle, he would be the only player I would actually keep if I was Newcastle, and I'd try and get rid of many players as possible. With Steve Bruce, he definitely did need to go beforehand, because I was even saying, how is Steve Bruce still in this job? Would someone like to enlighten me? But I still think the same about Arteta. How is this guy still in the job as well? But it's just because he's got an FA Cup. But that's just another day for that. But with Newcastle, it's just, I think this is actually one of the worst seasons I've seen of Newcastle in the Premier League. I just think they've been absolutely awful, and I think one of their only win was the only win against Leeds, if I'm correct. Was it Leeds you won?
Burnley. We beat Burnley at home.
Was it a draw then with Leeds?
Yeah, 2-1 each.
Okay, I thought it was 2-1 in the end. I don't know why I was thinking that, but yeah, Burnley the only win that you did have, and Norwich took a win against you, didn't they? And that was one of.
No, we drew. We drew.
You drew Norwich. Oh my god!
Yeah. They could have won it in the end, though.
Yeah. It was just, I just think that you definitely do need this switch completely now if you do look at anything in terms of staying up in relegation. But as much as you don't like a lot of Newcastle fans didn't like Steve Bruce, you got to give him credit for keeping him out of the relegation last season, because he was so close as well.
Yeah, I mean, what it is, I mean, end of the day, he should have got sacked at the end of that season, and he didn't. And
he won one of the Player of the Month. I mean, Manager of the Month last season.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it's just like a kiss of death when Steve Bruce wins the Premier League. It's just like a kiss of death. But it's one of the FA pundits saying, "Oh, wow, he's won the Manager of the Month award. He's wonderful." No, he's not. Just got for you as well. Would Macy take Koulibaly for Napoli? Also used to keep asking for him, but I think it was refused by the board.
To be honest, I don't really know too much about him, so I don't really want to comment too much if I would take him or not, but I don't know too much about him at the moment.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I think he's got 1 year left after this one at Napoli, sort of thing. He's a decent defender, still is. Do slap the like on the video. Do hit the like button. Do subscribe if you're new as well. And can you stay on for a little bit longer, do you think?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
chanting, no problem. Be as quick as I can. I know you've got things to do. And John and Mace, can I wish all those pretty Czech girls a Merry Christmas? Thanks. Of course you can, mate. He loves the Czech lasses, man. He really does. Greenwood's a special lad. He'll be excellent. His finishing is scary.
I agree.
Okay. I'll talk about Napoli defender Koulibaly. Weren't United linking him before you were? He would be another great signing for a team like Newcastle, a big leader in my opinion. If we stay up, sort of thing, I think we've got a good chance again, and he might fancy the Premier League. But I don't think you leave Napoli at all. I think he'll end his career there. I've noticed the media hardly ever bringing this up, just how poor Rashford has been for over a year now. His performances off the pitch has been better on. Maybe he should retire and focus on school dinners. That's some foxy. Wow.
I actually do agree, though. Marcus Rashford has been absolutely awful in terms of his gameplay. The thing is with Rashford, he takes on defenders, he loses the ball. People are blaming that the fact he was injured and he was playing with an injury. But even though he's got his injury, decides I'll go to the Euros.
Yeah.
And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer decides to play him for the full 90 minutes plus the full extra time, and then put him in the penalties as well. So you look at that and you think, why you're playing this player when you've got different players who can play on instead? Because after the 30th minute on that Europa League final, I would say, get Rashford off this pitch. Get Rashford off this pitch. I was saying to right until the penalties, get Rashford off this pitch. Get Rashford off this pitch. Get Rashford off this pitch. I was so annoyed, and I was just getting more and more angry. And I think by the time it got to the penalties, I was probably red in my face because I was so angry by that point. And the thing is, right now with Rashford, he's much better as an impactful sub than he is as a starting 11 player. He's being used as a striker. He's not a striker. I think he's terrible as a striker. He's a winger. And when he's played as a winger, when he's starting, he's not been good neither. So Greenwood can play with both his feet. Why not put Greenwood on the left? Try Elanga. Elanga's absolutely brilliant. He's such a young prospect as well, and he's actually built up a lot of muscle, and I think with a lot of game time he can be absolutely brilliant for Manchester United too. And Rangnick really likes him, and he signed a contract extension today till 2026, and I think we're going to see a lot more of Elanga coming up. So he'll be another player who I would actually personally play over Marcus Rashford right now. And there's rumours Marcus Rashford is going to Barcelona.
Wow. Is that for January or is that going to be for summer?
For the January window, he's apparently going to Barcelona.
Wow. I tell you what, I don't know where they're getting their money for. They're a billion in debt. They got Ferran Torres for £55 million. Where are they getting the money from? Have they got new investors coming into the club? It'd be very interesting. I got individual brilliance by Joe Willock was the only reason we stayed up last season. This season, he's like Joe Pillock. He's been poor. So... You know what I mean?
Now he's a permanent signing.
Signing. He played for us last season to get a contract off Arsenal, yeah? Arsenal weren't going to give him that new contract. So they sold us on to 22 million to us. And wow, it's just unbelievable, man.
And one of your only signings as well.
22 million for a guy who don't really want to be at Newcastle. Oh my God, man. That's shocking. 6-year contract as well, by the way. Serious question needs to be asked of that. Big up, John and lovely Macy. Glad you're feeling better. Scott was fantastic. He's a big Leicester fan, and he's happy since they beat us. By the way, what we need is to buy 5 or 6 refs. Yeah, referees has been shocking. It really has. Merry Christmas, John and this lady. Her name is Macy, by the way. Evening to Stephen, Everton fan. Son meant to be typed Macy. That's great. That's right. To all and chat, Merry Christmas to you and to Paul. I got five today. Ross and Dean Henderson, that Carlisle at one point in his career. Sheffield United.
Yeah, he was at Sheffield United for 2 seasons. He actually helped Sheffield United get promoted to the Premier League, and then he stayed for their first season in the Premier League. Get Aaron Ramsdale, and they're back into the Championship now. So,
yeah, man.
Yeah, but Aaron Ramsdale is doing brilliant at Arsenal, so can't knock him at the moment.
Yeah, he's been brilliant, Andy. Let's be real. Thanks, John, Mercy, and everyone in the chat. Have a wonderful Christmas, and please stay safe. Keith, love you, bro, and have a fantastic Christmas, New Year to you and your family. And he's a member as well on my chat as well. Matt Edge with a walking stick. Merry Christmas, Keith. Everyone's saying the same thing. I saw Match in the post office arguing over his pension. And Macy has so much football knowledge. Credit to that's
Thank you.
You have as well. She's such a talent. John, would you take Steve as technical coach? No, I think he's still available for United job in the summer, though.
Steve Bruce said he wants to go on the board in Newcastle's board.
Not chance. No chance. I tell you what, I take Fiona Bruce. You know what it is, mate? I'd rather take you on the board as well. If it's a United one, yes. Oh dear, when I'm starting to see how bad our defence is, we're in trouble. Sums it up beautifully. Yeah, Mason appearances appreciate Fred as much as me, so you have no choice but to respect her. Listen, she knows her stuff, number one. Number two, Fred's playing better, sort of thing, yeah? Let's be real. He's been brilliant. And the members are opening guys, sort of thing, yeah? I'm slacking. Eric Macy, layoff, that's Ian, this is the worst Newcastle team I've experienced as a supporter. Times you know you owe me it. We lost our pre-season game against 6-tier York City 1-0. I had the privilege of watching that, not live, but on the stream. I was embarrassed. Merry Christmas to you on the chat, especially to John Mercy and Aston Scott from Leicester City Till I Die. Fantastic chat. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out because it's brilliant, brilliant content hosted by Chris. I think Macy's been sleeping with Newcastle player. She clears dreaming when they won games. I
was just trying to big you up a little bit, and it just didn't go that well.
That's absolutely fine, man. It's absolutely fine. I think one's not sure though. That's this weekend. Can you show us? This weekend, can you show us your full penalty team, John? I'll try. Rashford trying to be another. Rashford is just another Amiram with a heat. And to be honest, we won the Champions League in my dream last night. I knew it was a dream when Joe Linton scored that winning goal. Could you imagine that?
I would love Foxy to tell me who the team was the team against.
Yeah.
And what was the score?
Exactly. I just have it there. I mean, and there one's a good one, and that's from my guy, Justin. When Jordan scores, even he is surprised it went in as well. Rashford saving Barcelona. Willock's finish. I literally knew Jordan because he's famous to blast it over the bar or wide. He had a shot just wide. I think Rashford's stuff he does on the pitch needs to be commended. Let's face it, most players are arseholes. Pretty sure John Shearer was caught giving stick to someone for living in a council house. I can remember that. Shocking. Poor form. Sounded like you said Joe Pillock instead of Joe Willock, John. Well, he's playing like a Pillock so far anyway. Let's be real. I mean, he had to be exactly great, hadn't he? So, and I've got some fair play to Mason from Jason. I hope, I hope you have a good Christmas tomorrow and good New Year. That's from JK. First time I've seen Macy. Speaks very well. Great show, John. All the best to you. Thanks so much, Denzel. Top guy. I said, I'm not going to start with again. A genuine question for you, Macy. Are you worried about Newcastle's wealth?
Am I worried about Newcastle's wealth? At the moment is a no. But because I think at the moment with Newcastle, I think it's going to take easily 3-4 seasons for you to get into a very good team, a team where it's going to be unbeatable. And I think Newcastle need to build the team up. They need to aim to get out of relegation for this season. If they stay out of relegation, try and aim then to the Conference League or Europa League and then build it up from there. I think that is the best thing what Newcastle can do. So at this moment in time, no, I'm not worried about Newcastle's wealth. A little optimistic maze at the back of the mind could think Glazers might leave and then we might get a very rich owner as well, and we can be one of the richest teams in the Premier League. So that can still happen by the time Newcastle get into such an amazing team, because I think it's going to happen eventually. It's just, I think it's going to be quite several seasons away first.
Yeah, you never know. And would you do business in Newcastle United? Do you think top 6 should do business in Newcastle United for the players sort of thing? Because there's been talk that not just top 6, but the Premier League, the whole or every team in the Premier League are refusing to do business in Newcastle United for their players because of the takeover. Do you think they're just being a bit petty, or do you think you should just get on with it?
I think it is a bit petty because Manchester City, they've got such rich owners. You've got Chelsea, who's got rich owners as well. but people still do business with both of these. Newcastle should be given a fair chance in terms of their transfer window. It's not as though it's like Chelsea where where Newcastle got a transfer ban. You are still very new. You've got brand new owners. You should have the right to sign whoever you want, just like any other club has the right to sign who you want. And having these new owners, I actually think gives more opportunities for the big, like the top 6 teams, to actually loan their younger players out to use. Because I actually think, especially with the wages what Manchester United give, absolutely scandalous. You could look at putting like Alanga to, I wouldn't do it, but for instance, Alanga coming to Newcastle on loan, or you can look at doing like another young player, like Menga. He is such a good centre back, and I think if you watched him against Young Boys, it was absolutely incredible, and he'd be someone as well who could be a game changer for Newcastle. So I think having them, I think that would be good for us in general, for Newcastle's wealth in terms of transfers. You get good loanees out of it. So I think people are being a bit petty with not doing business with Newcastle, though, because I'm sure in several years to come, when they have an amazing team, they'll be wanting your players then.
Exactly. And we're telling the guest stuff as well, by the way. It's exactly well said. And when did Joe Lynn score the winner for us in Champions League? It hasn't happened yet. What are you getting for Santa John, Christmas Muddy, hopefully, and Macy, and Christmas dinner? What are you getting from Santa John and Macy and for the Christmas dinner? Just normal stuff, man. The finals, Newcastle and Shanghai. Oh my God, dream again. Now, a guy like Koff, for Shelby's 40 basketball kick on the game and all that sort of thing. And imagine Newcastle in the FA Cup while the rest of the league players catch up on fixtures. We get relegated and win the UEFA Cup and get Champions League qualification promoted next season. All that in 1 year. That would be amazing. Now, I take Barry on loan. Is he the 4th choice centre back for United by Maguire, Varane, and Lindelof? Would you loan out Bailey, or would you still keep him?
I do love Eric Bailly as a player. He is currently 4th choice, but the thing is with Eric Bailly, the only reason why he is 4th choice is due to injury prone. He's such an injury prone player, and this is what, even if, for example, you would want to take him on loan, for instance, he can play 3 games and then he'll get injured on the 3rd game and then he'll be out for several games. You don't want that type of player to be injured constantly. I do love Eric Bailly. I think he's an absolute brilliant player. He would be. I would love to see a Varane and Eric Bailly partnership. How well that would be as well. But do you know what is so crazy? Maguire came 3 years later than Eric Bailly, and he's played more games than Eric Bailly. That just shows how injury prone Eric Bailly is as a player. So, as much as I love him, I think it's the right choice. He is that. Well, I'll start him over Harry Maguire anyway, but I can understand why he is 4th choice, because no way you drop Varane. Lindelof, I actually think he's been absolutely brilliant this season. I can't fault Lindelof one bit. So, and he's actually improved a lot in terms of his one-on-ones, in terms of his heading. He's actually much better in the air than Harry Maguire, and everyone rated Harry Maguire in the air, but Lindelof is better at the moment in the air. So, I would actually, if you want, you can have Harry Maguire, and I know you've got a lot of money. So we want 100 million for Harry Maguire, and we'll give you Phil Jones on a free. What do you say about that?
So Harry Maguire, 100 million.
And plus, you get Phil Jones on the free.
Phil Jones on top, on top. I'll take Tom Jones instead. So you get 2 for the price of 1, eh? Well, I'll tell you what, though, I think the guy might be okay, actually, for Newcastle.
And Phil Jones is actually potentially going on loan as well, surprisingly.
To Newcastle.
Not to Newcastle, but I can't remember where he was supposed to be going on loan to. I know it's a team abroad, if I remember correctly, but he's supposed to be going on loan, so that could be the end of an era for Phil Jones. It's a shame he didn't get his testimonial, because he was every right to have that. He's been here for over 10 years, but he refused one.
Hey! He can go abroad then. He can go abroad. I think Newcastle should be given the opportunity to sign who you want, although I can see us paying a substantial premium for each player. That means paying over the odds, yeah? Scott said like 90 million for Pogba. It's okay. Yeah, we got loads for it. I'm not sure about Paul Pogba, by the way. Cavani, I take. He can come to Newcastle.
No.
Will you take Newcastle? No.
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 No one touches him. No one touches Cavani. No one touches Cavani.
If I came to you and you say, can you take Cavani? You put the phone down, right? Just slam the phone down, get me blocked, and then never to mention his name.
A part of me really thinks that if Rangnick stays on as an extra year as a manager, if we don't find anyone in the summer, I actually think Eddie might actually sign a contract extension. Yeah, I actually think he might. And I really love Edinson Cavani. He's such a brilliant player, and I can't name a game where he's been awful for Manchester United. I can't name one.
Well, I mean, if he does that, I think he will. I think it's another contract sort of thing. I really do think he will. I think he will. Because he seems happy. He seems happy. And let's hope that's the case. John, would you say Andy Carroll? No, I would not. No, I would not. Sorry, mate. I'm not sure. I realize just how rich these guys are. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be fun if you stay up. Not Carroll again. Cavani, another mercenary, according to Tangi, I'm afraid. I don't think he is, he just loves playing football. He loves playing football. Third time isn't always a charm for Carroll. No, 300 billion, for example, would buy 300 million Pogba's. Nah, not me. Mays is a quality guest. Football knowledge is quality, and she isn't massively partisan. And I got 100 million for Slabby. Who's Slabby? Maguire.
Yes. Everyone calls him Slabby. Or Fridge.
You take it. Phil John's on top, 2 for the price of 1, eh? Merry Christmas, John. Thanks for your donation, Denzel. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate that sort of thing. And Merry Christmas to you as well, my guy. I love Cavani. Have a feeling we'll have to get rid of him, sadly. A lot of talk here in South America that Boca Juniors are trying to take him. It's not the first time Boca Juniors have been after him, by the way. But listen.
And he stayed.
And
he stayed.
Yeah, I hope he stay. I hope he does stay one more season. I hope he does stay with you guys. Sounds like a buy one, get one free. John, you're missing the derbies versus Sunderland and Middlesbrough. If you go to the Championship, at least you have 2 local derbies. I was stopping the Premier League. Middlesbrough might be in the Prem next season. The way they're playing under Chris Turner, it might just be the case. Cavi's like 45. No, he's 35. Even at his age, Cavani can give opportunity and he's lethal. I take Cavani all day long. But she's amazing saying no. Yeah, John, you should buy Phil Jones on the guy's robotic knees. Not for me. If Steve Bruce is there, he'll probably ask for him anyway. I just get this about all the players. Feel the same about Eden Dzeko. Listen, he's doing well at Inter Milan. He's 35. He's happy at Inter. That move will not happen soon at all whatsoever. We're going to talk about the Man U game on Monday. It's a Monday game, 8 o'clock kickoff. Before the game is on. And yeah. What's the formation going to be? Does it set us up 4-2-2-2, 4-2-2, or?
I think it's going to be a 4-2-2. I think Rangnick's going to try and get this formation in place because even though a lot of people were saying, oh my God, we've had 2 games postponed, look at it in a positive way, even though it's hard to think positively. This gives a lot more time for Rangnick to give training to the players in his kind of formation. And we need to have this game time in this formation for it to work. And if we find out after a month it doesn't work, we change the formation because we know he can play in different formations. He's played in the 4-3-3, he's played in 4-4-2. He's played in different formations at like Leipzig as well. So we know that he can change formations, but I think we just need to give it time and having these extra training sessions instead of the games. I think this will definitely I look at it as more of a positive than a negative.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, if I was a United fan, I'll trust this guy because he has done good things, plays football the right way, the pressing game, high tempo, according to Morgan as well. So Cavani, even Ronaldo, will not fit into his plans. But
Cavani is such a pressing player. I do genuinely believe he would fit into Rangnick's plans. Even Ronaldo was pressing under Rangnick, and I've never seen Ronaldo press hardly ever. And if you know Ronaldo's pressing, you know the kind of influence Rangnick has on the team. But if you look at when it was the Tottenham Hotspur game, Cavani had the second highest presses in the game. He is, and you know what he's like. He's a bit like a hungry wolf. He'll press on that ball. He's such a good player on and off the ball because he'll try and hunt for the ball and he'll press and press and press the opposition team until he gets that ball. Because that's how hungry he is and how eager he is to get the ball. So I do believe that he does fit into Rangnick's plans, and I think Rangnick will be very happy with him.
Fantastic. And let's see what happens on that game on Monday. I've found his comments if I give you the score predictions. Phil Jones wouldn't play in Sunday League football. He'd be better off taking out the corns at tuning in his big black sports bag. That's a now. He'd be better putting out corns anyway. We all play Man U on Boxing Day. It's like the Queen's speech, only more predictable. Yeah? I love it, man. I hope Wan-Bissaka plays for Man U. If he does, get your bets on guaranteed yellow cards and a pen. And I'll come to Bissaka quickly in a minute. 300 million for podcast belongs on Broadway musical, not on a football pitch. This talk of Ronaldo Cavani don't or can't person is completely nonsense. Just the media seeing it enough times to make it seem true. And Seto is a fellow United fan. I can see a memory of Callum Wilson's rubbing his hands. He loves penalties. And he hasn't missed a penalty first yet, which is fantastic. That Wan-Bissaka, I mean, it cost £50 million. I mean, he's splitting the fans. Is that right?
Well, I think with Wan-Bissaka, I actually don't believe that he's got his place at Manchester United anymore. I think he doesn't suit Rangnick's plans. I'm not too sure if he's still injured at the moment, so I'm not 100% sure if he will be playing anyway, even if he was fit. I don't think he'll be playing. It's Dalot for me who's going to be going forward, because when you do look at a right back, a modern day right back, you want a right back / right wing back, whatever the formation is. You want him who can defend as well as go forward. And if you have got one what is over exceeding that, but then proper under exceeding that, there is going to cause problems if that's going to be defensively or going forward. Wan-Bissaka, in terms of defending, his one-on-ones, I'd say he's one of the best right backs in the league for that. But he's just so poor in terms of going forward, and because he gets so slow and he gives the ball away at such a high pitch, part of the pitch, it just really brings away the gameplay overall. And Dalot is so much better at going forward. He isn't, for me, the perfect player at defending, but he's still only very young, Dalot. So he's a couple of years younger than Wan-Bissaka, so he's still got areas to improve on that. And I think when he does have someone alongside him, when you've got the likes of Varane alongside you, or you've got the likes of another world-class defender alongside you, you're going to look much better defensively. You look at Trent Alexander-Arnold, he isn't the greatest at defending, but he's got the likes of Virgil van Dijk near him, and he's got the likes of Andy Robertson, who's in the back four, and you've got the likes as well Matip, or if you're playing, for instance, Gomez, because he plays well alongside Van Dijk. If he's got them people, he looks so much better defensively. And I think with Wan-Bissaka, it's just even though he's great defensively, he's not good at going forward. And right now, I think this kind of Premier League as it is right now, it's better having a right back who's better at going forward at the moment. I think, though, what could be a good shout, Wan-Bissaka being tried as a centre-back. Do you know, as an emergency centre-back, because he's so good and he's quick? I think he could be potentially used as a right back as an emergency option, or if we wanted to try as like a diamond formation like Chelsea, and then he's like a bit of an Aspilicueta, where he plays as a right centre-back. He could be used as that, and I think he'd actually excel in that kind of role because he's very good defensively.
Good shout. That is an absolute good shout there, sort of thing. But I like seeing him at centre-back as well. Personally, I thought that myself. But I wouldn't tap on him yet, because I think Wan-Bissaka would be fine. But put him at centre-back and get a decent right-back onto your club. And so we'll see what happens. So basically, like, see a surprise result and 3 points to Newcastle. Scott, I hope you're right for that matter. Exactly, letting them run the narrative. The press said we need to switch our goalkeepers where our defensive midfield weren't performing. Now it's the striker's fault. That's from the Man U fan. Macy, do you want the Glazers out of your club?
To be honest, when you do look at it, like, of course, you do want the Glazers out of the club because long-term solution-wise, it isn't going to get better. Even if you didn't even look at the aspects of the men's game, if you look at the women's game, how they don't even have facilities. Like, their nearest toilet is 10 minutes from the training ground. That's how poor it is for the women's game, and knowing how facilities for the men's game where you've got a leaky roof and they think it's acceptable, where everything's all rusty, they're not investing in it. We're in debt ourselves because of the Glazers. So you do look at that and you do think we do need new owners to take us forward, because you could have such amazing managers, but if you're not having owners who are backing you, or you're not having owners who, and you've got, like, say for example, you've got like a Conte, because Conte does have a voice on him, and Conte will walk if he doesn't agree with the Glazers. I honestly, hands down, believe that. And if that was the case, we would be back at square one. So I think nothing is going to be changed unless the Glazers do leave Manchester United, and they've been offered. I think there was offered quite a bit when I think there was several years ago. There was someone who was interested in buying Manchester United, and United said they said no, and they want like $4 billion for Manchester United when they only bought Manchester United for not so much less, and they've made it into a £4 billion team, like £4 billion club.
Flipping heck, I mean, that's not good. Would you ever have our owners at United?
Pardon?
Would you rather have our owners at United? Would you take our owners, the Saudis, and so?
I think I wouldn't mind having them. I know a lot of people say no or don't want them, but you do need a lot. These clubs who are successful these days have very rich owners.
Yeah.
And this is the next step forward in doing this, because I think, say for example, you have got you might have a world-class team, but then you've got 90. So you've got a Premier League 20 teams. 19 of them have got such rich owners, but you've got poor owners, like not as rich owners, and they're thinking a bit stingy in the investment. You're not going to go further. You're not going to adapt as a team, but these 19 teams are going to adapt as a team. This is why I think that it would be good going forward for that. I think rich these days now, it is the rich owners what is going to take clubs further. If you look at it 10 years ago, you don't ever hardly see that, and I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that kind of thing, but you do know now that is what other clubs are doing, and you do think, well, if these are doing it, you've got to do it as well to bring your team to the next step forward, your club as the next step forward.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely, sort of thing. It's just, yeah, it's a tough one at the minute. Like, just hope that you get new owners in the future, sort of thing. Like, it's going to make your club happy, sort of thing. I mean, me personally, I think Glazers needs to go, and I think you need to get new ones as well coming in and get your club get to where you want to be, sort of thing. Your club should be winning titles. 2013, 9 years, and that's not good enough. That's unacceptable for you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Not. We're going to be like Liverpool with 30 years if this continues.
Exactly. Totally agree. 30, yeah, not good. I've got to advise that quickly before we get your scores. Antonio Valencia was an underrated player for Man U.
He was underrated.
Very underrated. Nothing spectacular, but he just does his job, gets on with it quietly. Foxy, you can get a miracle slide tackle, blah, blah. So I've got Mark Smith as well. Macy, do you think Ralph Rangnick will use Mason Greenwood in his lineup when needed? If Man U did get a penalty against Newcastle, who would take it? Will Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes? It's going to have to be Cristiano first, and then Bruno.
It will be Cristiano Ronaldo who take the penalty. He took the last penalty against Newcastle, so I think he will be the person who will be taking the penalties going forward. I don't mind whoever does take the penalties, because we both know both of them can take penalties. In terms of Greenwood, yes, we will be seeing him a lot more. Rangnick has openly said he does like Mason Greenwood, so we will be seeing a lot more of Mason Greenwood in that striker option, and especially knowing Rashford isn't doing it up there, and then I think Cavani will be obviously the choice over Mason Greenwood, but if Ronaldo or Cavani is injured, he's going to be starting.
Brilliant. I think he will. I think he take penalties all the time now. So I've got Dalot, who is on loan from Milan, is on job a lot in a minute. After time, he made the right back slot his own, and his standards and form hasn't dropped. He's a good player. He's a good man. I like him. He was like him. And Ronaldo definitely one time Bruno took a penalty here and Ronaldo, he bottled it. Yeah, Bruno's not himself.
It was a lot of pressure. It was a lot of pressure because you look at the Aston Villa game, it was the last kick of the game, so I can imagine the pressure on that. So, yeah, he did bottle it. It wasn't like Bruno Fernandes because he's actually only missed 2 penalties from Manchester United since he's joined Manchester United. One of them being against Jews, and the other one was against Aston Villa.
Yeah, that as well. But thing is, right, you got some good penalty takes at the club there, sort of thing. You got to give it experience, like this guy.
He's brilliant at taking penalties as well. He was,
Dalot as well.
He was actually the previous club he was at, Porto. He was their penalty. He was their penalty taker.
Yeah, I can remember. I saw him take a few penalties as well. He was brilliant taking penalties. Lovely left foot as well, by the way. And just a couple more questions to wrap up very soon. Macy, question for you. There was rumours, man, you could battle out with Chelsea for French defender Jules Koundé, and he's from Seville, by the way. Would you take him at United in the winter window?
Yeah, I would take him, but I don't think we will get him. I think he's going to be going to Chelsea because from what I was hearing, he is wanting to be at Chelsea. And the only reason why he didn't go to Chelsea was because of the release clause, and it got the release clause wouldn't get met and stuff. So I think he wants to go to Chelsea. So I think what happens is, though, you see Chelsea and Man United always get linked to the same players like Sancho and obviously this player now. So it's just the fact that all these teams are always linked to the same players. So I think he's a Chelsea player. So he was another player who got linked to both clubs.
Yeah, I think he will be a player. I think he'll be a Chelsea player if he's going to come to the Premier League. Got Macy, are you not frustrated with the debt the Glazers are taking against the club?
Yeah, of course, I am frustrated, and it's just honestly, I don't feel like there's no other way apart from selling them. To be honest, it says a lot when I was actually watching a clip with the Glazers, and they was talking to their team in the MLS. Not their American football thing, and then there was like they were talking about Tom Brady, saying how great he is, and then he went, Cristiano Ronaldo joined the club when he was 16. No, he didn't. He was 18. You don't even know the history of the club. Why do you have this club if you don't know the history of it?
Absolutely, you have to understand what it means when you go to your club. You have to go there, understand it. It's like when they come to Newcastle, they have to understand what this club means. And if you don't, you're going to be in trouble from day number one.
It's a business. It's a business investment to them. I think they want to look at it as a franchise. I think that's what it is if you want me to be honest.
I know. You're right. And the things when Mike actually took over Newcastle United, he didn't understand what it meant. He just went there, thinks he's going to get some money sort of thing. He didn't do due diligence, so I checked their accounts. It was in a lot of debt, and he was not very happy about it. So what he did, he had to take out an interest-free loan to cover that debt, and it's hardly been paid. And thank God the Saudi owners has come in, PIF, PCC, Capital Partners, which would be fantastic, which is brilliant. So I'm glad I got the club. And any chance loaning Donny to us? The poor bugger just wants to play a game, and that is Donny Manavic.
I think he might not even go on loan, to be honest, because especially if Paul Pogba does go in this winter window, I think he will be staying Donny van de Beek, and I think he'll probably will have that couple of more game time.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think he'll stay. I don't think he'll go on loan. He wants to have a proper chance there, sort of thing. I was going to say to you, what do you think the score's going to be on Monday night? For the Monday night's game?
I'm going to go for a 2-0 to Manchester United.
Yeah, I did say once each, and then when I found out that Clay Paulson's going to be refereeing our game, this is the guy who failed to give us a penalty for VAR when Fraser got brought down. He's taken over as referee. I'm fearful now. I think I'm going to go 3-1 to United. I said once each. I'll change my mind. 3-1 to United. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong. I take a point, and you just to go see what happens and just go from there, sort of thing. So I've got one more here. Just got a few more here. 4-0 to United for now. 3-1 to Newcastle from Scott. Mike actually was pesticide sucking the soul out of the club. You're right. You're absolutely right. So, and Macy has a better smile.
Thank you.
That's what I got on here, sort of thing, because she is amazing. 2-1 to Newcastle. Everyone's coming out with results, by the way. Different people's coming out, which I think is great. And long may it continue. So, what have you got coming up on your show? Because I've got to be on your channel and on is it Sunday? I'm on your channel.
Yes, Sunday. So, John, you are going to be on my channel. It'll be for a Newcastle preview for the game for Monday, and I've set up a weekly show. So it's a weekly transfer show. So we'll discuss all the transfers, what's rumoured to Manchester United, and I'm doing that every week until the transfer deadline day. So that's what's coming up at the moment, and I've got a mid-season preview for the Manchester women's team on the Tuesday.
Cool. Do you know what? I'm going to listen to that as well, by the way. I'm going to check out your channel, by the way, because it says you've got fantastic content there as well. Do check out the content. Is it called Devils United, isn't it?
Devils United, yeah.
Devils United. So any Man U fans will check out Macy's channel. Do check it out. It's absolutely amazing. And I'll be checking it out myself, and I'll be there on Sunday. I'll be at a different location for it because I'm heading to Durham on Sunday, and I'm going to rather me driving break, I've got to stop over and I've got to chat to Macy. So please join us for that. And I could chat to you for another hour. So I really could. But you've got things to do, haven't you? That's how I think you crumble sort of thing. But to be honest, I'm 45 minutes, by the way. But listeners worth every minute of it. Like, you know what I mean? And
it's been great. It's been a great show.
So listen, did you enjoy coming on me show today?
Yes, it's been an absolute brilliant show, and I enjoy being on. So thank you so much.
Do you know what it is? I think you are amazing. But before I go, please bring Maisie back next time. I definitely will do 100%, and get her back on. And she's always welcome to come on my channel anytime.
Thank you.
Great guest, to be fair. I check her out Sunday. Happy Christmas to both of you, and the same to Foxy from Colombia. He's from Colombia, by the way. And
happy Christmas.
Tons over there, by the way, but he seems a great guy. And thanks for the donation to Denzel, by the way. And no membership today, but listen, I've got to keep plugging away. And do hit the like button. Do subscribe to John Sinclair. And I've got 1,465 subscribers. So thank you so much for the new subscribers coming on. I've got Merry Christmas. All have a good one for Mogul. And great should John enjoy the great to see you back again. Amazing. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. That's for Niall.
Thanks, Niall.
And then calling them Niall again, but he's a great lad sort of thing. And football's daily as well. Man U smash 3-0 against Newcastle. And you also know that. That's from Football Style. Macy is amazing.
I love that. Thank you.
Yay! Is what it is there. But so listen, thank you very much for coming on. And it's been really appreciated. And I'll definitely come on Sunday. I'm going to be at a different location on Sunday. Probably stop somewhere on the A1 somewhere, and I just do that sort of thing. And you know what? It's been a pleasure seeing you for Man United perspective. And listen, love your content, and just make sure you come back again and enjoy the rest of Christmas. And and I'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you for having me on. It's been an absolute pleasure. And yes, we'll see each other Sunday. Have a lovely Christmas.
Thank you so much. You take care. And I was going to say up the United, but I cannot. I'll wear that tune. And, globally Man United, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I even said that, didn't I? Oh! I'm going to get shot. Listen, you take care. And thanks for coming on.